This episode of On the Ropes is brought to you by BWC. Boxing with Chris is a YouTube channel and podcast that covers the latest in boxing news, updates on prospective fighters, as well as interviews of both past and present boxers. Be sure to follow us on YouTube and Instagram for more updates and news. BWC, keep it A more than 92. If you would like to have your advertisement featured here, please email boxingwithchrismedia@gmail.com. Enjoy the pod.
Yo, YouTube, what it do? Chris from BWC. You're now boxing with Chris. Got a special guest today, Mr. Aaron Davis, former welterweight champion of the world, had a 49-6 record, a 16-year career. How are you today?
I'm fine. Doing great.
So we're gonna keep these first questions. What do you think is the biggest problem in boxing today?
I think the biggest problem in boxing today is, it's more like, a lot of people, they know they don't have to fight. A lot of guys, the way they build their records today, a lot of people go to Mexico. Now, I could see you going to Mexico if you know how to fight, like you're really a good fighter, because it's hard for people to fight you. I can understand that they're hanging, fighting in Mexico because nobody will fight them. And if they did fight them, they wanted that probably $8,000 to $10,000 for a round. Like I'm training this kid, Shamal Canal, and he's a 135. It's hard for him to get fights. People go on his Facebook, go on his Instagram, they don't want to fight him. He's got over 100 amateur fights. And he's just I think he's just turned 19 years old. And he got over 100 amateur fights, and nobody wants to fight him. If they fight him for 4 rounds, these guys are talking crazy money. Like thousands of dollars, just to fight a 4-round fight. So, any to fight, but most of the fighters today, they go to Mexico, they go down south to North Carolina, South Carolina, they go to Atlanta, and they put these fights on. The commission allowed them to fight guys that I think that never should have been in the ring before. If you look at a lot of these guys' records, they look good, but look who they fought. And the way they build in these fighters of today, most of these fighters know they really, really can't fight. They know that. Then when they fight somebody with a record, they kind of, they nervous, they scared, because they know they've been fighting guys. So now they know they've been fighting guys that they shouldn't have been fighting, but everything's a record buildup. That's the biggest part about boxing now. But then when these guys got to fight somebody, they're not confident. They don't feel secure.
And how much do you think promoters play in interfering in big fights not happening in today?
Well, I think promoters pay. Promoters is like if they got a mill ticket, and you can't blame a promoter. You got a guy who can sell tickets, he can fight, and he's winning fights. Why put him in a fight, a $10 million fight, when he can fight 2 fights and get 5 and get 10, and he's not definitely going to get beat. And that's what promoters are doing today.
So you had a 16-year career. You retired in 2002. It's been basically 20 years, from 2002 to 2012. Give me the best fight you've seen from 2002 to 2012.
The best fight I had, 2002, 2012, was 2002.
Yeah. We're going to start from the end of your career to 2012. So we got 20 years basically.
Yeah. Well, I had a lot of good fights overseas. In Paris, I've had a lot of good fights out there. You had guys back then when we were fighting. Some guys had messed up records, but some people had messed up records. But it was different back then. We didn't have these guys really could fight, but they were put in over their head, and they really didn't know how to fight. They were tough. They knew how to fight, and they got better as you go. Like a guy named Freddie Pennington. Look Freddie Pennington up. He had a horrible record, but as he kept fighting, he got better. He wound up being world champion. I used to see him come to Cleveland and beat up top fighters in the gym before he became world champion because he learned over a period of time how to fight. He's gotten better. But now today, they just picking anybody up off the streets to fight. When I was fighting, I might be looking at my record. You might see a couple of guys where somebody fight fell out, and then I had to fight this guy with a washed up record. But these guys are real fighters, though. If you look at the guys they fought, they really could fight. But I could say one of the, like you saying, like one of the toughest guys I fought, like one of my fights. I think I fought this guy in Paris. His name was Mbaye. This guy was tough. His record was so-so. But he fought a lot of tough fighters. You know, he had very bad management. And he fought, but he was tough as hell. I think that's the only fight I could say I was 100%. Every fighter's fight, most of the time, there's always something wrong. You have a broken hand, messed up hand, a leg overtrained, you know, anything could happen, some type of injury, you know. But this fight, I never felt this way. Like I felt I was 100% good all the way. And if I wasn't, I don't think I would have beat the guy. The guy was kind of big. I think I was like 147, 148, but he was pretty big, but he allowed the fight anyway. He came in over heavyweight. But this guy was tough, man. He could fight, but I had everything going. My body was running right. And if I wasn't 100% that fight, I would have got beaten that night.
All right, so what, right now it's in the air right now. So I know everybody talk about this. So due to the Spence Crawford whole situation, and he doesn't want to fight Keith Thurman because he neglected him back in the day, which is respectable. But they forcing the IBF to fight, to basically force Boots versus Errol Spence if the Terence Crawford fight doesn't happen. Do you think we'll get? What do you give Boots a chance? Who? Boots, John
Earl Spence. I think Earl Spence is going to get it.
At 147, because they talking about.
No, I think Earl Spence cannot make 47 no more. I think Earl needs to move up. Why fight that? He can't make the weight no more. He has problems making that weight. I think Earl's going to be a great 160, 154 fighter. I think that's where his weight is at now. He should give up the belts. Don't fight Earl. It's not about being scared. There's really no money there for him. And you know what? It's a fight. And he can't make the weight no more. If he got problems making the weight, he shouldn't even take the fight anymore. I don't think he should fight.
They're giving him 4 months or to vacate.
Yeah, but it's not. Listen, it's a fight that I just think that he doesn't really need. And you know who has Boots beat? I mean, I've seen Boots. He's a good fighter. I watched some of his fights. I watched some of his opponents. You know, but he hasn't really fought any like top guys yet. Who knows? He might be a great fighter. A guy from England, a reporter about 2 years ago, told me he was going to be a great fighter. You know, I finally got a chance to see him. You know, he's quick, he's fast, he got skills, but you know, I think Earl Spence right now is a little too much for him. I think Earl Spence is not the same guy at 147 anymore. In his last couple of fights, I don't believe it was an accident. Like, if you got problems making that weight, he's not performing like he should be able to.
So if he shouldn't stay at 147, unless he's fighting Terence Crawford, he should just move from there.
Nah, move up.
But
like
then
said,
it takes a taste out of the fight because remember, first it was the fight, and then it was the fight for undisputed.
Anyway. Crawford said he's going up anyway, so Crawford's going up to 54. Fight him at 54.
But you think it'll have that same glamour since there's nothing attached, it's just a non-title bout?
Listen, if they didn't have belts, it'd still be the same way. People's just paying to see the fight. They don't really care about the belts. They want to see people fight.
And then your favorite 3 divisions right now in boxing?
Well, you know, I love Devin Haney. He's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. A lot of people say he's not this man. You know, what do you think about that?
Devin, the Dream, Muffin Man, Haney. Having insomnia issues, any problems sleeping, you holler at Devin the Dream because he will get the job done. Your boy Chris, I was out there, put everybody in my house to bed, and he just put my 2-week-old son to sleep with ease. I respect the skill. He's a great fighter, but in the ring, let's just call it what he is.
Devin, I'm more of a Shakur guy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Shakur, I feel like if I had to put my money on somebody to take over the sport of boxing, it'd be between Shakur and Jamal Ennis. Yeah. Maybe I'm a little prison of the moment, but that's just me right now.
But everybody's gonna go for he's going to go for Devontae over him because one thing that Davis does, he fights to hurt you. He's not fighting for points. He's not fighting just to win. He's fighting to knock you out. And that's how back in the days when I was fighting, people were fighting to Like, these guys, it's like a guy shooting bazooka, boom, boom, and the guy shooting 22, cap. You know, these guys, you know what it is today? It's not so much as the fighters. It's the way the fighters are being trained. A lot of trainers should not be trainers. They don't know how to train fighters. Some fighters, trainers, they train the fighter, but then they gotta let the fighter go. Like, you take a fighter here, you gotta let the fighter go. You can't, a lot of trainers only can take a fighter a certain way. If I have a fighter, I'm not selfish. And I know that I see he's not progressing, he's not getting better. I'm gonna get somebody else to help me with him so we can get better. You understand? You always go get somebody with you. A lot of trainers, they want all the groups, they want this, they want that. One thing I like about Devontae camp, and I like about Devin Haney's camp. Devin Haney's father has other people help him work with. He worked with some of the best fighters in the world. Some of the best trainers. Devin Haney. And Devontae Davis, I see him. He got this guy working, this guy helping. But then you got these trainers. They don't want nobody. You know, I'm the boss. I'm doing this. I'm the man. You know, like, and I believe, and I don't know how true it is, but some people said, what's the name? Farvo was like that. What's the little guy name? He fought Crawford his last fight.
Avanesian.
No, the fight before that when he lost.
Sean Porter.
Sean Porter, you know, who knows? He probably can get better. He get a different trainer. Or get somebody, not get a different trainer, get somebody else to help out and mix in, give their thoughts, oversee in the training and everything. But you got a lot of trainers, they don't want to do that. They're not, you know. What I like about Devontae does so many different things. Like, one thing trainers don't know, when you fighting, and Mayweather does so many different things, he's doing, you have to listen to what I'm saying, because it's like how they do it. Like, he'll be sticking and moving, he'll do something else. He'll 1-2 move this way, he'll throw face, he's doing stuff. So it's hard for you to adapt to it. Most trainers, they doing the same shit all the time with the fighter. Bop, 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 you know. And then they do this stupid shit here over the head, like who the hell's gonna be punching over somebody's head? Who's gonna be going like this? And then the fighter's going like this, you know. Who's gonna be doing that in the fight? You gotta do things actually like a fighter is when he's fighting. You got trainers, they holding pads, and they throwing the pads at the guy's face. Who the hell's gonna be throwing their face at somebody's pads? You gotta hold here, let the guy reach out. You understand? The guy pop out the thing, you know. But a lot of these fighters today, why Javante just got them guys that's working, that's teaching him how to kill people, how to hurt people. That's it. Their whole thing is trying to hurt people. You know, they're not trying to win on points. And all these other trainers are get out the way, hit brother, don't get hit, move. Yeah, you gotta move, you know, hit them and then run down the block, and then you come back, and you know, make sure it's safe, you know. I'm just using that for an example. You gotta fight. That's why a lot of these kids today don't have the balls, like, because they're not getting built, they're not trained like that. Well, you gotta take control over somebody. You gotta get respect. If somebody jabbing you, you jab him. Somebody fight you, fight them back. You gotta break somebody down. It's hard. These fighters, they don't know how to break somebody down. They don't know how to go get a guy. Like, they know how to win on points because they taught everything's with the pad work, blah, 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 blah. Most of the trainers, they can't show a fighter how to hit the bag. They can't, you know?
So how do you feel about, like, lately, in this era compared to your era, how fighters will pull out of fights due to mental health? I know it's a serious topic to some people, not so much serious.
Yeah, one guy did that, I heard. Yeah,
back then, I'm pretty sure fighters to you went through divorces, deaths in family, and you just got through it. Listen, like, what do you want to say to these fighters, you know, going through this mental health
crisis? Them fighters there, they pulled out mental health because somewhere they realized they signed that contract. The only way they're going to get out that contract if they're sick, something broken, or okay. So now they use the sickness, mental health. I'm mental health. I can't do it. I got problems. You know, they don't really want that fight. They don't want that fight. There's no such thing, mental health, for boxing. You understand? Most boxers were mentally messed, like mentally, like, you know, when it hurts something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, mentally talking about I don't feel good, so I want to get out. I'm depressed. It's a bunch of bullcrap.
About trainers today not having an amateur or professional background and training professionals.
Well, just back in the days too. Now we hitting something there. Trainers back then, right? they was in boxing gym. Now, okay, we creatures of habit, right? If you in the gym, right, and you just looking around, and you in the gym back in the days, in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and you see a trainer training people, you watch. You could do the same thing. You copy off that trainer and you do it. So now today, everybody sees all the this and that. So they teach their kids what they see, and they become a trainer. So when they get kids, they boom, boom, bang, boom, boom, bang, bang, bang. You're never gonna see nobody fight like this, you know. And that's all the trainers do because they know kids like that, you know. They get delusional, but trainers, it's not that. If you're around a good trainer, you got guys who was around Emmanuel Stewart. They became good trainers. They probably had no fights, but they learned because you watching a teacher. You watching somebody train. Now, if you watching these trainers train today, a lot of these trainers, they never had no fights. You're not really going to learn. You're going to do the thing, the pad work, and this and that and that. You can't teach a guy how to throw a proper jab. When I was a kid, I used to watch. I used to see all these fighters come in. I used to see. I was around trainers like Victor Valley, Senior, and Junior. I was around fighters like Hal Weston, another great trainer, Bobby Miles. Teddy Atlas worked with me too. Teddy was a very good technical trainer. He knows. Teddy can tell you. I fought one fight before I was losing the fight. This guy was from like Mayweather and them camp. He trained in Vegas with them. The father, I think they had the same trainer. Something was all working. And he was doing that Mayweather style. And I never seen it before. And every time he turned his head like this, I would never hit him because I think I'm gonna hit him in the back of the head. And I was never this, and he turned. I went throw. In the fight, it's like the third, fourth round. Teddy Atlas comes to me and says, "Aaron, listen, he's fucking tricking you. You have to just throw punches, hit him anywhere, hit him in the head, the back of the neck, any fucking thing. You gotta throw punches. He's suckering you, you know, with that because that's the first time I ever seen that. And I went out there and I did it, and I'm starting winning the rounds and I beat the guy up. I beat him up. I won the fight. You know, it was a close fight, but I won the fight. But it was a style that I never seen before. You understand? And he told me how to get out of that situation. And to this day, I say, who knows how that fight? Teddy Atlas wasn't in my corner that day. And I always say this, you know. And you know, my other trainer might get mad. You know, Billy Giles. You know, he was there. Even though our pops was there, but I don't know if I'd have won that fight because I was too busy, like, you know, waiting, like, to not getting off, like, you know, like, you just got to go get a guy. Like, Telefimo fought the guy up there. He was moving, he was doing this. No, when the guy is doing that, you got to go get him. All that slick boxing shit, all that shit got to go out the window. What you doing is working. You can't listen to what the trainer say, the father say, anybody. You have to go get him. You got to figure out. You know when you lose in a fucking fight. So you got to say, listen, I'm behind. I got to go get this guy. You can't listen to the trainers. You know when you're behind. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like he should have went a little more harder after this guy, you know? But who knows how his camp was, how he was training.
You feel like social media is a blessing, a curse, or is it a double-edged sword in boxing now today? Is it something you wish you had in your era? Because it helps, like it's a double-edged sword. It shows your downfall and it can show your success in both ways. So how do you feel about social media and boxing? And you wish that
I think social media is good for boxing because there's money there. We didn't have internet back then. At the end of my career, we got internet, but it wasn't like Facebook and all this stuff. It's good for boxing because it's good for people. It can make people delusion about this person, think, oh, this person's bad, this and that. You got these fighters, man, that go different places to fight, different countries. They can't even fight. And they really believe they can fight. And the media thinks they can fight. You see, it's a buildup. But back then, it wasn't like that. And this is the truth. If you was black or Hispanic, and it's not a race thing, it's not a racist thing. Back in them days, you had to fight. Now, if you was a pretty good, decent Caucasian, they get you a nice fight, you know, because there wasn't so many great Caucasians back then that was fighting. So if one of them became world champion, it's like Tiger Woods being black, winning the Masters. You understand what I'm saying, right? It's not a racist thing. So, but if a Caucasian won the world title, he don't just represent. He represents the whole white country, the world. Put it like that. Everybody's like, yo, what they got? Yeah, they going for him. They're supposed to go for him. That's their people. They're like, yeah, he's the winner. He's this and that. You know, like same thing when Tiger Woods won the Masters. You had people all over Africa, everywhere. They was happy for him because he was a black man. He did it. But now today, we don't have that many world champions. I mean, they got so many world champions. They win world champions like nothing. That's because the black and Hispanics are not being taught how to fight right, and they won't fight. You got to fight. What are you doing running from a guy the same way as you, moving, sticking and moving and doing all that boxing? You go get him. And people be like, oh, this guy here, he's racist. Is he coming? I said something like this before. I'm like, no, I'm not. You know, when I just say most black people, we pretty strong, pretty fast, you know. After that, the way we just built different from a lot of other people, a lot of other nationalities. Our body structure is just different. You know, we may look bigger than them, but we could be the same weight with certain people. And they be like, nah, hell no, he's that big. He only weigh that much because our body structure. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be able to go out there and get a guy. You understand? You're supposed to be out there on certain when you fighting certain people, go get them. You know what I'm saying? You're running from this guy, little guy, just running. You know, like Mexicans always been tough. I always love to watch Mexican fights because they're gonna fight. They come to fight. They're gonna put on the fight. You know, now you watch boxing today. It's like the only time they really gonna fight, one guy hit the guy after the bell. Then they fight, try to kill each other. Watch the fight. When somebody they really fight. Yeah, the crowd. Then you like, oh shit, yeah, they're gonna fight next round. Bell ring. You know, they're not even fight.
How do you feel about the undisputed movements now? It's been like a lot of undisputed in different divisions. 135, 168, 118. So it's been a lot of undisputed showdowns lately. How do you feel about that? And also women's boxing getting the notoriety it finally deserves.
I think women's boxing is good. I think it's good for boxing. You know, you got a few great champions. That's I like the girl from England. She's pretty good. I think somebody just beat her. Was it Clarissa Shields that beat her?
Yeah, Clarissa Shields.
I like Clarissa Shields. She fights. You know, and you know what? To be honest with you, the girls are fighting. They fight. The reason why they made 12 rounds from 15 because people was getting hurt. They was too tired to fight. They was like, listen, you know, some people even dying. Like, yo, we got to move this from 12 rounds to 15 because fighters will fight. But now you could have a 20-round fight. They ain't even one of them gonna be tired after the fight because they're not even fighting. You put 20 rounds. Check it. You can put 20 rounds and you can put 5-minute rounds, 20 rounds. They're not even trying to fight. They're not even going to fight. Before, fighters used to fight. I think it was Ali, Shavers, all these guys, you know, Larry Holmes, Shavers. I forgot who it was. These guys fight. These guys, they fought till they left breath. They couldn't fight no more. They used to fight. They couldn't fight no more. You know? And they fight and they give it all they got. You know, fighters are bloody. They bleeding like a pig. And they fight. They begging the coach not to stop the fight. Come on, coach. Nah, I gotta fight. Please don't. You know, the fighters today sick of hold up, coach. Coach. Oh yeah. Oh, I can't see. How the fuck you gonna say you can't see? Oh, my hand's broken. Why you talking about your hand broken? You know they're gonna stop the fight. Oh, I can barely move my hand, coach. And as soon as we get there, by I can't see neither. You know, they just as good don't want to fight. You know, like I always have respect for guys like Mickey Ward, Attilio guy, even Vinny Paz. I fought him. These guys be fighting, but you bleeding. They still trying to win. They can be behind. They coming back. You gonna have to take them out on their back. You know. These fighters today, man, my hand broke. Coach, stop it. Sit down. You know. That's it. You know. Make my peace with God. I'm leaving. I got my check. You know. You gotta fight.
You feel like the check has made a lot of fighters comfortable?
Yeah.
Not even.
Nah, you know what?
They getting basketball money now.
Listen, you gotta understand. It's money has a lot. I'm so happy fighters are making money now. I'm happy. You know, fighters are really getting paper now. You see with the internet now and all that, they're making money. I'm happy. They're making crazy money, and it's good. They deserve it. You understand? But everything now is like, yeah, when you make more, when you get rich, you get soft. But one thing about a guy like Mayweather, he's never gotten soft with his money. He always fought. And he put a good show on. You know, people say, oh, he's boxing, he's doing that. So what? You know, these guys, he moved up in weight. These guys are big. Most of the guys, when he moved up, are bigger than him. You got to do what you got to do. You understand? To win the fight, you know? They talk about, oh, he gave me this. He's too big. He don't fight. He don't hurt. He don't have the fight. He don't have the power to knock out certain guys, you know? He wins the fight. He beats him up. He beat up Canelo. He beat up mostly all these guys. You understand?
And what do you rank Canelo in today? You think
Well, listen, Canelo is very underrated. This is another thing. The reason Canelo never, ever, ever, and people gonna be, oh, who's this guy? Why he said, when I was fighting, he wouldn't be able to fight like this. He's fighting the guys today. We would have fought this guy. All that moving and slipping, all that slick shit. With all that shit would have went out the window. Are you serious? You know, it wouldn't have happened. It would have been out the window. And people, you gotta understand, people, not me and my partner, I got a partner, we argue about this every day. He's looking at me, oh, this guy would have beat Holyfield and knocked these fucking guys out. Oh, but this guy won the Olympic Yusuf. I said, Yusuf, whatever. I said, Holyfield would have fucked him up, beat him up. I said, beat him up. You know, Riddick Bowe would have beat him up. Lennox Lewis would have beat these guys. The guy's too small, first of all. You understand? He wouldn't have been able to do it. These guys were fighters. These guys could fight. You know, like I was just saying, Holyfield, Holyfield and Mayweather, these are guys who really, really wanted to fight. You know, it wasn't the money. They wanted to fight. They liked it. They liked the glamour. They liked, you know, I think Holyfield was a real more like guy who really wanted to fight. You understand? Yeah. But a lot of fighters, you know, a fighter that looks like he's ready to quit or quitting the fight, he don't really want it. He's probably doing it for the money. And God bless him. He's getting checked, you know. But you got some people who really, really want to fight. Like the guys I named before, the Cherry guy, Mickey Ward, these guys will fight bloody. And there was no, they ready to go back out. They go out on their back, you know. Like Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier fought. Was it Ali? I think he fought Foreman. And he couldn't even really see because his eyes, he had cataract. He was fucked up. He tax record and some shit.
He knocked him down like 7 times, something like that.
And he's still getting up trying to fight. These are fighters. These guys get a nip today. They're like, oh shit, oh God, no, please. Hey, bring the surgeon.
That's what I was. So when you were coming up 80s, 90s boxing, the heavyweight division was like on top of the world.
Yeah.
What do you think it'll ever get to anywhere near that? And how do you like the heavyweight division now with Fury, Usyk, Joshua, Wilder, and guys like that?
Well, I think these guys today really. I hate to say this, but the heavyweight today, these guys, they really can't fight. But what's the name? Tyson Fury can fight, but he's fighting guys that really can't fight. You know what I'm saying? You know, I like Wilder. Wilder is not a great technical fighter. I don't think Wilder's a great technical fighter, but Wilder has dynamite. Wilder can hit you, he can knock you out. And that's the thing. If you're athletic today, you can win fights because there's not good teachers out there. So all you gotta do is be athletic, you gotta throw punches. You can win the fights with no problem, you know? But like I watched the Golden Gloves here too. And I'm like, I watched the amateurs here in New York City. Guys go just throw punches. And they went in the tournament, like, they can't fight a lick. I was like thinking about that. What about in the 80s, the early 80s? Miles fighting like me, Vince Moe, Kevin Kelly, David Villa. There was a lot of us that were fighting. We all were fighting. Like most of us became world champions. You know what I'm saying? And the fight, we had good, because we were taught like how to fight, you know? And you know, and back then too, you had a trainer. And the trainer wasn't doing good with you, or he knew he took you so far as he could take you. He would get somebody else to help. He was still there. You understand? Like I said, these trainers now, they're not going to do that. You know, a lot of the trainers are just selfish. You know, the kids never going to go there. But the heavyweight division, like you said, you got Lennox Lewis, who's a great fighter. People can say what they want to say. When Lennox Lewis first came, he was ripped and he was in shape. He was like his body was good. Then he stopped coming in a little heavy, and you know that's when he kind of went down a little bit, you know. Like Ali before Ali went to jail, Ali was in shape. When he came back, he was a little flabby, but Ali still knew how to fight. These guys can fight. But I think Jerry Cooney, back in his time, would have beat. People may say, no, what's the guy name? The champion now, the guy from England, the champion.
Taylor.
No,
what division? From what division?
The super heavyweight guy. He beat Wilder 3 times.
Oh, Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury. Yeah, Tyson Fury. Jerry Cooney, I think, was not Tyson Fury. Yeah, I'm telling you. These guys can't fight. These guys can't fight, man. No, they don't run outside no more. You got these personal trainers they bring in, and they running on the treadmill now. And don't run outside. Listen. You can do a lot on the treadmill right now. You go outside, you probably do 10, 15 minutes, and you're done. Because the treadmill don't run you. You don't run the treadmill, it runs you.
That's good. What fighter today you think could afford in any era?
Be honest, Tank, David Haney. Yeah. I think Teofimo would have had to pick it up. I think he could have fought in the era too. Teofimo, Crawford, and Earl Spence. And he's probably going to be like Porter. Yeah, Porter. Porter's going to fight. Porter reminds me of, like the Europeans, the Caucasians. He's going to fight you. He has belts in it. He's going to fight you. Throw punches. He's going to fight you. No matter what, he's going to fight. That's what got him as far as he went. Just fight.
So in boxing, what tips or what advice you got to a young fighter that's trying to go pro, maybe in the amateurs, you have that experience and you have that certification to talk. What advice do you give to these young fighters nowadays trying to go at least to the level where you made it, where you had actually a successful career? What advice do you give to them?
Well, first of all, you got to live if you want to play a boxing to be a champion, you got to live the life like you. You can't smoke, you can't drink. I never smoked, I never drink. I never did nothing. You gotta live the life like you gotta get your own identity. You gotta let a trainer teach you basics. Don't have them train you like Mayweather. That's Mayweather style. Don't have them train you like Ali. That's his style. You teach your fight. You gotta learn basics, and then you fall into your own place. But 99% of fighters will never know their own identity because the trainer wants to teach you how to fight like his favorite fighter, throw punches. I was in Chicago one time. I went down to Chicago. I'm in a gym. And the trainer got the guy, we're going to fight like James Toney. That's James Toney style. And he was dead serious. He's like, and it was like Aaron, his managers from England wanted to sign me at the time. And he was like, yeah, so Aaron, he's going to train you. He says, okay. So he said, just see how he do. I said, okay, how you doing? He tells me to do this. I'm like, the fuck out of here. I said, that's not me. My thing is to fight and fuck you up. I got to fight. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck out of here. I ain't got time for that shit. You know what I'm saying? You got none of these kids. You got to admit, you see everybody come in the gym. Mayweather style. Yeah. Nobody who has their own identity. They don't have the only people that really most got their identity is the Mexicans and the Mexican and Europeans. They just come to fuck. They come and they throwing punches, hands up, very good basics, basic fighting. Blacks, Hispanics, they don't really have basics. Earl Spence got perfect basics. That's all he does. He fucked you up with basics. He jab you, 1-2 hook up, everything. He jab you. When he's resting, he's jabbing. That's how we were taught with it. When you resting, you keep jabbing. These guys rest. They run around the ring. They figure out trying to get away with a hold. When you rest, you jump.
So in today, what we got going into 2023, we got planned Benavidez. Do you think Benavidez will probably get a shot with Canelo?
No, Canelo's not going to fight Benavidez. I think Canelo's shot. I think he's on his way out. I don't think Canelo's the same fight anymore. And he knows he can get beat down. He gave in that fight. He didn't fight that fight. When he lost to that guy, he didn't fight. And when I mean when a fighter, don't quit. I'm saying don't quit. When you guys fight the fighter, you know how he's always trying to go get a guy, and he stopped trying to go get the guy. He gave up. He didn't actually say no and quit. He quit. He gave in. I
mean, there's nowhere for him to go if you think about it. He's too small for 175. I don't really see him draining
He fought
himself.
everybody else at 65, 68.
Yeah, so if he I don't see him going down to 160. So he's gonna have to vacate or fight
He's not
for the
gonna fight
Venus.
that guy.
How you think do you think they can hold him off for that long? You know in the sanctioning body. Do you think they're gonna keep holding him off?
Listen,
for
he got enough money. He's gonna say, I don't want to fight no more, whatever like that. You know, he's not gonna get beat. He don't want to get beat by that. He don't want to get beat by that Mexican. You know, he might come up with he might take the fight when he's really tired. He got a mental problem. You know, I can't. You know, like the other guy, Ryan, whatever his name is. Ryan Diaz, they're like, oh, I'm mentally fucked up. I can't do this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
He got enough money. Listen, he's Mexican. He wants to be the pride and joy of Mexico. He can't get beat up with this guy. This guy, even though I don't think Canelo's at his best, when I was fighting, when he was 32, fighters was kind of done. 33, 34. But you can fight now because nobody fights. Nobody fights. Nobody's going to fight you with their youth. You know, when you jump on a guy, you make a guy fight, you fight him. If he's past 32, he can't do what he was young. What he did, he can't continue to go off like that. Like Hopkins fought so long too. Hopkins is a skillful fighter, but nobody jumped on Hopkins and fight. When I used to fight, I remember when I fought a guy 32, 33, they say he's old, go get him. And I went out there, go get him. I make him fight back. But when you're a certain age, your body can't do that. Your body
do you feel like it's a style? Like a boxer can last longer than a guy that's taking punishment?
Yeah.
So a boxer can maybe box up to 36, but a guy like Golovkin, once he reaches 34, 35, you start to question, does he still got it?
No, you couldn't. A fighter could last long. Yes, of course you can last long. But you got to jump on a guy like that and make him don't last that long. Fighters can last for long. They take no abuse. There's not abuse being given to a fighter. But that's why, because nobody wants it, and it's good that you last that long like that. But you got fighters, if they did jump or torture jump on somebody, they could finish that. You understand? And you can be more successful in boxing. But nobody wants to do that. Yo, I see. Why do you think these Europeans? They come jumping. That's why they win the fights. They jumping on you, fight. If you say fight back in, do. And these guys don't have the muscle memory for that. The eye muscle memory for somebody to jump on in the fight.
You think Americans should take note and train like the Europeans, and maybe I can excel them and take them to the next level?
All the Europeans are doing, yeah, they work hard. Yo, listen. The Americans fighters, they want to look in the mirror, they want to get the eyebrows done now. They worry about how they dress. They gotta look pretty when they throw punches. You know, they gotta throw punches, look pretty. Yo, when you fighting, there's no looking pretty. You gotta fight. Everybody want my stance is good, you know, yeah. And you got these sick fucking coaches. They're like, yeah. Stand, you're there, right there. You look good right there. Look, get the fuck out of here. You the guy stand, yeah, look good, yeah. Hit, move, move, slip, yeah, look this way. Yeah, roll like Mayweather, pull back, come back. Come on, you gotta fight, man. You gotta throw punches.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up with the last question, man.
Yeah.
Your top 5 fighters of your era and the top 5 fighters in today.
Vander Holyfield. Canelo with him.
R.I.P.
Mildred Taylor. That was back in my era.
I know you fought him too. I know that.
I think Riddick Bowe was up there, man. Riddick Bowe. And damn. One guy, people they underestimate this guy, Simon Brown. They was like 4 years over me, but in boxing, 4 or 5 years, the era before, but them guys were good fighters, man. Yeah, I fought Simon Brown too, but I didn't fight Simon Brown when he was Simon Brown. I keep it real. Like some people be like, oh, this guy. He still has something left, but he didn't have what he was left. You know, I sparred him a lot. Great fighter. What? Yo, Simon Brown was fighting today. Forget it. Simon Brown was a fucking man.
So then it's today, your top 5 fighters today.
Today, Devin Haney. Devin Haney, Tank, Davis, and Shakur, and I said Devin Haney, Shakur, Tank. Damn, who else? Oh, Crawford and my favorite fighter. We just mentioned, damn, you know I took a lot of shots.
Yeah, Spence.
Damn, how the fuck I forget his name? My man from Texas. Come on, you got me all
Spence.
fucking Spence.
Yeah, so we good. We're gonna wrap that up, Aaron. I appreciate your time.
All right, I'm glad being on your podcast.
I gotta send you the video when it's done. We're gonna wrap this up, man. Appreciate
Don't
you.
forget I sent my $2,000. My $2,000 for being on the show, okay? Okay. Yo, yeah.
What's up, y'all? This is Cozy, the producer of BWC. I just wanted to give a thank you to everybody for all the love, the support, the subscribes, everything that you guys have been showing us over the past couple months now. This channel is the creation of Chris Murray, who is unfortunately not here anymore. And I'm sure that Chris is just very proud of what we have created out of this channel here. And everything that we do is because of him. There would be no BWC without Chris Murray. For me and Chris we both appreciate all the love, the subscribes, the hate, the comments, everything. We're just going to keep rocking out for y'all in 2023. And we'll see you on the next interview. Peace.